All right, I got my headache managed. On to chapter 20. But I gotta say, this Kruppa, he keeps saying, like, hey, you know how that sucked so bad? It's gonna be even worse. So he's the type of guy that at a funeral to some, like a grandpa or something, to some grandkids, he would like go in and not even knowing the kids, he'd be like, "This sucks, huh?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." They'd be like, "Wait till your parents die," and then they would just cry more. Like that's Kruppa, right? So I'm gonna go into chapter 20. Not sure how long it was, but I'm like worried now because that was wild. Last few chapters have been wild, but exciting, exciting. All right. Well, in the epigraph, the hounds are among us. Prelude in Toll the Hounds, written by Fisher. This first scene, uh, holy, Skin Tick is rightfully ticked off that Namander is not showing much. He doesn't seem to be showing that this is fishy that Ketavis died when everyone clearly knows that it's not the official word that Clip said. They find this whole thing fishy, um, and he kind of brings them back later on. Like he can feel this judgment as he's walking uh, with Clip. Everything seems wrong. I really like this group, and this whole side subplot is really interesting as they're getting closer to Animander Rake. Um, but they tell him, and they still, Namander tells Skintick and the others, and I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep up this ruse or whatever, to pretending like they don't know. Um, they made extra note again, which in Memories of Ice they talk about how the Tistandi would just fall and they wouldn't really give any regard to the corpses, and the Rivi would for them. Um, because they've been forsaken by Mother Dark. They don't have anywhere to go. Um, so it's so cool. It's so cool how this is all coming together. I mean, not necessarily coming together. There's just such good world building with these different races. Like, this is so unique. This is not just dwarves and elves, uh, even though I like dwarves and elves. But this is very much, it's just great that this is so its own thing. And what a way to realize a totally unique world. Midway through this next little scene, I guess it's right at the end here. Um, there was this mention that the Tistandi are very leery of who they follow from now on, since that time when they were forsaken, and that's what makes Endist following Animander Rake almost getting teary-eyed when he talks to the man. It just makes Rake even a better leader in my eyes, and in Endist's eyes, and in a lot of these people's. It's just great. Same kind of way that people loved Whiskey Jack and Cotillion. Anyway, I'm all over the place, and they are starting to follow Nimander. Um, am I reading that right? Yeah, he has plenty of doubts and stuff. It's not that he's so certain about things, but that he really leads. He took us into his hands again, and each one of us stood silent, finding in ourselves what he had just given us, that resolve, the will to go on, and it left us humbled. And I love this part. Ninanda says he killed Ketavis. Speaking of Clip, yes, and Nimander will give answer to that. If Animander Rake is going to die, the natural next leader might be not Animander, but Nimander, right? So we'll see how that goes. All right, so we have Monkrat, an ex-bridge burner, and he's watching the people on this pilgrimage. I don't know if he really is on it himself. He says he was. But he's watching this and just waiting for the moment where, eventually, if the Redeemer gets too close to getting this Kellic or whatever, Salan, or, whatever, the dragon is going to just lay waste, just like it did in the Mott Woods, I think it was. And Spindle's here. I love Spindle. He might be, he's not my favorite character, even though he's hilarious. But if I was building a Malazan RPG character in a video game, I would make this mage slash, what do they call them? The guys that throw the cussers and stuff. I can't remember. But I would make that, because that would be a cool mix. Or I would make basically the other bridge burner, the Barghast one. I'd make that guy. Anyway, on to whatever's next. Sapper. I remembered like 1 second after I turned it off. A sapper. I would make a sapper mage. All right, High Priestess and Priestess both talking about Animander Rake and this whole situation. Interesting that even Animander Rake at this point won't speak ill of Mother Dark and almost speaks, the way that he must feel a lot like he is in her shoes in some ways, where he kind of understands that they play the unsympathetic one to a lot of people. Like, people are like, why did Mother Dark do that? And why does Animander Rake, why has he done some of the things he has done? So that's very, very interesting. But there's this major war coming. And the High Priestess says, this is the worst it's been since Carcanis. And people don't realize just how dire and on the knife's edge it sounds like. So, wow. Like, wild stuff. Wild stuff. All right, I'm not going to spend too much time with this one, with any of them, but we just had the Seer Daemon talking with the Redeemer, kind of contemplating, is the dying god the same as the crippled god, in that its cult followers are the same, and the crippled god seems more like the cult followers are more about the anguish, where the dying god is more about, the ritualistic act of dying and oblivion and dancing with, I wonder what they are thinking when they have this Kellic. I wonder if there's going to be a point made or attempted to be made of exactly what this surety is that they are dancing. And interesting that we would have that word dancing, where the end of the prologue also had Kruppa, who he's like, have you seen me dance? And now it's raining Kellic. Looks like they can't get rid of it. It's going to be in everything. I don't know how widespread this rain is. It's probably just above this barrow specifically. But wow. Whoa. All right. Munnig, who painted the flippin' cards, who had his tumor balls blasted, he's the prophet for the crippled god, so good for him. Promotion. Cowler's coming in, and he's like, he'll do. And he's waiting. He wants the throne, the last throne that he feels like he's ever going to need to finally kind of get through this these stupid curses and things, and finally kind of be the one who beats Krull and or whatever. It's just amazing. I've been waiting for this moment since bloody prologue of the third book, when we finally kind of heard what he did. I've been like, oh, he's going to take the throne again. It's only taken another 5 books, but whatever. Super excited, and wonder if he even is going to take the throne. I imagine he would, but right. I didn't get much out of Samar's thing where she's seeing these standing stones and rubbing her fingers on them and like, whatever. She's just being her witchy self, so I don't know. All right, really quick with this scene with Samar Dev talking to Karsa. And talking about how, all these invitations and gifts to Karsa have been the invitations were to be broken in some way, but Karsa's not one who is to be broken or to be controlled. He walks through warrens like he can, not exactly that. He walks through sorcery like he seems like he would be the ultimate chosen one for the crippled god, but if he isn't going to allow himself to be broken like Munnig and these followers, then really he is this chaotic kind of card. I've mentioned before, Magic the Gathering, I learned how to play it once when I was doing some work before married. One guy that I knew played it a bunch, and he showed me, and there are the cards that you lay them down and they almost have like their own little algorithm. There's these chaotic, untamed cards. And it sounds like while Rulad was controlled, people like Drek, like Polale and stuff, they just kind of do their thing. And now Karsa just kind of does his thing. But I wonder how much of Karsa is playing into the crippled god's hands in the end, or if he really is on a good path and he is defying properly what the crippled god is up to. But I still am not totally convinced yet that, like, think of the stuff that Karsa wants to do with the world, like break down civilization and kill tons and tons of people. Like free people, but also enact some crazy stuff. So I still have my concerns with where Karsa's going with all this. Obviously, like, it's crazy. I don't see him as this great good yet, even though he's done great stuff. He's also like still killing a bunch of people, and it's tricky. It's awesome what's going on. Anyway, I don't want to dwell too much on this, but like I just think about Karsa and his role in this last couple books. Yes, and I should also mention that something's happening with Traveler at these stones. He says they're shadows. I lost my spot. Dang it. Whatever. Shoot. It doesn't matter. That's basically it. Shadows, he said, are cruel. That's what he said. What the freaking crap did I just read? Here in Dragnapur, with Ditch and Kedispala, who's more like, and the word, and the word, and the word, and the word, and the dirt, and the dirt, and the dirt. Like, he's so weird, this guy. It was made, Dragnapur was made to have darkness kept in and chaos out, to have that clean barrier. And I know it has to do with the gate as well. And the gate was in the game. That Spinnick, it's in that game that they play. Waiting for that still to really be a major thing. again here, and Ditch feels like he's, Dragnipur feels like Cataspar is making a god here, and he's like, that's not supposed to happen here. And then Ditch is kind of this key piece to it or something, and he's got to hold on, or he's got to hold on to himself and not do this word that I don't understand what the heck that was. Cool and sounds not good, but yeah, like what the crap is that? Jeez. Okay, so the cartographer can like draw stuff, and then it can be invested with power. Then they can do cool stuff again. So that's a good guy to be a part of the Trigal Trade Guild. That sounds like just what they're needing. I have no idea. That's this whole thing with Mappo. It is such a side diversion at the moment. Like it doesn't seem like it's going to get wrapped up in this book if they're trying to get over to where Akarium is, and there's I love Mapple, but what the heck? Where is this going? Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm still into it, but it's like so wacky. Oh man, we're getting our convergence. We have Kalor showing up to Darujistan. He's right outside. We have Samar, Karsa, and Traveler, and the howls of the hounds have started howling, and even Chillbice can hear it. So like things are ready to go. Dance and dance on, talking about this city, because as everyone knows, all that you see about you will last well forever. I mean, that's a little ominous and a strange sentence, but yeah, here we go. We are on chapter 21. My book is one of these, it's kind of a bigger edition. I am on page 759, and this goes to 900 and something, so 160 pages left in here. I'm sure I would be on page 1,000 or something if it was one of the smaller versions. But anyway, holy smokes, I can't imagine what's about to happen here. I mean, I've predicted who I think is going to die. I don't know if that's going to mean the end of the Andy kind of idea of having a leader, or if Mother Dark is going to swoop in, and I don't think that's what we're really going for. Holy smokes, I want to know what happens with Dragnipur, whether Animander Rake is going to be around or not. What's going to happen with that sword? Is it going to be broken? Is Draconis going to like burst out of that and like stuff's going to go down? Is this army of chaos going to run into this army of Hood at some point? Is Kalor going to jump onto the throne? And like, there's just so much. Is Ikarium out of the picture now? At least for this book, who knows? So, geez Louise. And then, yeah, we are on chapter 21. I will try to finish this. It's Saturday. I don't have all day to read tomorrow, but I'll try to get at least a chapter in. Maybe even a couple. So, talk to you later.